Right, let's get started. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Hump Day. What a day. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenage while I'm trying to hammer away at the show and do my thing and get ready for the travel that's coming up. And man, it's a monkey wrench day. I'll just say that. Sometimes the universe is just chucking monkey wrenches your way. It's, it's fine. It's fun. Nothing drastic. Again, you have to have a sense of perspective about these things. But the important thing is I'm here and,
Call me Snake.
Just get used to the idea. All right, here we go. Now, there's a lot going on. A lot of news was made this weekend about the fact that Trump's tour, which, as someone who's been on tour multiple times, in many ways you could consider my stand-up career one giant tour with naps in between at home. I've been on a lot of tours, been on a bunch of tours, done a lot of touring the hard way. And then some spot tours where you go in, you just do the weekend, then you come back out. Next weekend you fly, a lot of fly out tours for years. I've been doing that. And so when Trump and O'Reilly announced their tour, in air quotes, little bunny fuck you, little bunny fuck. I was like, all right, let's see the dates. And we now know the dates were four shows, two states, same states in the same weekend, I think. Yeah. Houston and Dallas, Texas, and then 2 dates in Florida. The first ones were the Florida dates. And pictures came out showing that there wasn't a huge turnout. And let me see if this comes up on this. Yeah, there you go. That they came out and looked a bit like this. And Bill O'Reilly was not having it. This is terrible. This is doctored video, photoshopped things that they photoshopped and fixed things before even people came into the place. I don't know why you would have to take people out that hadn't arrived yet to prove that they weren't there, but whatever. Hi, chat room. Good to see you. Welcome. And in here, yeah, it's a faux tour. It's a faux news tour. And I lucked upon this. Now, I have not looked at this, but I lucked upon this today. This is Bill O'Reilly showing up on News Nation Now, which is Dan Abrams' show. Dan Abrams, who used to be on MSNBC and then formed Mediaite and now has his own show via Mediaite, I think. Anyways, he managed to get Bill O'Reilly on to talk about the turnout. So I'm fascinated. Let's see it.
Of the showtime, and fans in upper levels got, quote, upgrades. I'm guessing the host is going to dispute much of this. Joining us now is Bill O'Reilly. Bill, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so what say you?
Abrams, thanks for having me.
Abrams, thanks for having me. By the way, I just want to say, before anybody gives me any shit, that I did not Photoshop myself and make Trump look worse and make my giant dome look smooth as a baby's ass, Abrams. So not only there were lots of people and they were all seated in this area. The problem was the skin was too smooth and they slid right off into down somewhere in the sign, Abrams. So now I use what's your skin secret? I use a loofah.
What say me? It's a bunch of lies. I mean,
terrible.
The doctored photos that you saw were taken before most of the people were allowed into the arena.
So why would you doctor photos of an empty arena that was empty because no one was even allowed in? What did they doctor? Did they take out people who showed up early? If they were taken before this show us, get your lie straight.
I mean, look, here's how ridiculous this whole thing is.
All right, tell us this. Here's how ridiculous it is. It's called the President Trump Bill O'Reilly tour event. And it's called the History Tour. It's about history. They're teaching you history. Now, I'm sure I'll get into the meat and taters of this whole thing.
So the Sun Sentinel sent a reporter to the arena with...
Dear God, how dare they? The Sun Sentinel?
Florida Panthers play. The reporter didn't call me.
Oh, that's Panther Pavilion. I've been there. Oh, shit. I have performed in that arena. Now, when I did it, it was full, so it looked very different. I didn't recognize it. I opened for the Bee Gees on Y2K and tossed to the NBC New Year's celebration that after midnight, the Bee Gees played Stayin' Alive just to prove we were still alive after midnight. It was kind of a fuck you Y2K thing. And I did stand up before the show, and I did the countdown to midnight from the not that actual stage. I'm sure they have a different one now. I that's so funny. Yes, that's right. I opened for the Bee Gees at the Panther Pavilion, and it was fucking packed. Just saying. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let's see if there's a... Come on, you gotta have it. Bee Gees Y2K live show. That was the show. That's it. That was the night of it. 31/12/1999. That was I opened for them on this set. That's amazing. At Panther Pavilion. That's yeah. I didn't even recognize it because when I was there, it was full. I've certainly, it's because of the Bee Gees for sure. Because I was just like I was barely 1 year into. I was half a year into Talk Soup at that point. No, that was not Andy Gibb. That was Barry Gibb. Andy Gibb is dead. Has been for a very long time. Did I wear leather pants? I did not. I should have. I did not. But it was full of, I will say, it was full of boomers who figured they were going to die on Y2K, and that's where they wanted to be when it happened. I would not doubt that there is some overlap between the audience I performed for with the Bee Gees who wanted to die watching the Bee Gees on Y2K and those folks. These are the survivors of the Bee Gees Y2K. Thought it was a reunion. That's so funny.
I am producing the show. It's my production company. She could have easily...
Yes, great production value, by the way. Screen, 2 chairs. Maybe consider using the production company that does Martin Short and Steve Martin's show, because it's fantastic. It's 2 guys. It's beautiful, and it's a very nice show.
Add the attendance and the gross. The gross of that show was $2 million.
The gross was $2 million? What was the net, motherfucker? Because that's an expensive venue.
7,000 in the building. So many people, Abrams, that the Secret Service had to delay the show an hour because they couldn't get people through the door.
Because they all wanted to come armed because they thought Trump's clone was there. Whatever.
There were so many of them.
Wait, now, Phil, how could it, how could it have taken Secret Service extra time
to cover half the people.
Fill up an arena, right? If it's an arena that seats, I think it's up to 18,000 at that arena.
And they had to do security on everybody, and they were overwhelmed by how the people came, and so there was a line.
How they came? They all came in a giant gun-shaped bus. Apparently, they all were wearing. If Boebert won't go through a metal detector, neither will I. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Fuck you.
Out, and the reporter was actually there and saw it. But here's the bottom line on the show.
Brett, give us the bottom line. 2 men held people enraptured.
$1 billion gross on one show. What politician in the world could do that? Could Barack Obama do that? Only if he was.
Well, here's a better question. What politician in the world has to do that? Especially one that's allegedly a billionaire. How many people, how many politicians have a 5x drop-off in attendance the first time they tried to go from a rally to a paid event? I think that's what was it, 65,000 supposedly at his Cullman, Alabama gathering, 11,000 at this one. I guess those other folks just don't feel like he's worth it. He's not worth their stimmy.
Keyboards for the Stones. No politician on earth could do a show that grosses $2 million.
And no politician in the world with Bill O'Reilly could gross out that many people as well.
Dollars. And that was the story that these people who hate Trump.
Well, the idea was you picked the size of that venue because you were under the impression that he could gross $4 million, and he didn't. What's the net? You're saying gross a lot, and you are gross, so I get it.
They would not report.
So all of the reports we're getting about people being upgraded seats, slashing prices before the thing starts, the Daytona Beach News and Journal reports, the Republic.
Nope. That's making people buy the cheaper gigs, the cheaper shit seats in Houston now, thinking they're going to get moved up, the bunch of Trump-loving freeloaders. Nope.
Volusia, we're handing out free tickets. All untrue.
It's ridiculous. Absurd. The 4 shows, 2 in Florida and 2 in Texas.
Yes, the tour, here henceforth regarded as the tour,
have so far grossed $7 million.
Right. What's the net?
Plus, okay? Nobody could possibly do this. We didn't slash any prices for anybody. It's line of sight because you have a small stage with President Trump and me on it.
And line of sight. So those are the big sellers, people who actually want to be able to see him, or I guess pay to see him, since they could see him at other events, his rallies for free. And all right.
Can't see the stage. We don't sell those seats.
What? If you can't see the stage, you don't sell those seats? What? First of all, you have a giant screen behind you so they can watch that. Secondly, why do a venue that big if you're not going to sell? What the fuck? Do you think you think bands perform there? Like, Jesus Christ, is that the Stones? Or is somebody moving around pipe cleaners?
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, guys, everybody knows that. They don't even sell those seats for football games. They don't sell those when bands show up. When I was there, they put cardboard Bee Gees fans in those seats.
So you didn't sell out, fraud. Though. It's fair.
They hate Trump.
It's fair to say
to make Trump look bad.
Well, no. Apparently, you wanted to make Trump look bad. Or I guess you wanted to make yourself look good and didn't bother to make Trump look I mean, this is one of the worst pictures I've ever seen of him. Seriously, he looks like he just watched like someone set a firecracker off in his face. Abrams, smooth as a baby's ass. This guy though looks like an orange tire. Nobody sells tickets you can't see. What are some elites handing out orchestra glasses?
But it's fair to say you didn't sell out.
Donald Trump would never sell out, okay? He didn't sell out when he had a casino. He didn't sell out when he had hotel rooms available during the most desirable period of time in New York. And he doesn't sell out. I mean, he always does 40% business and says it's 60.
We didn't sell out what? It was
the seats in the venue you were presuming to need for your gathering at the price of fucking hell.
impossible to sell it out because of the way the arena was configured. So
it's this. I don't blame Trump. I blame ovals. Wait a minute. Run that by me again. What?
To sell it out because of the way the arena was configured. So if you have an 18...
Wait, Abrams, why are you nodding at that detail? Are you out of your fucking mind? What?
We didn't sell out what? It was impossible to sell it out because of the way the arena was configured.
You know, the way it's configured. The way it's always configured. When it sells out for everything else. Look, the problem was the arena is shaped in a very odd way. It has, if you look at it, it's got an oval shape. Like, here's the stage, okay? Up in here, here's the stage right here, okay? And then it's impossible to see anything past like this area. We don't even sell this shit over here because it doesn't exist. It got sandblasted a long time ago. But this part right here, this is where everybody wants to be. It's the problem with ovals in general. Anything that's shaped vaguely like this. What in the world?
If you have an 18,000 seat arena, but 6,000 of those seats are out of the line of sight.
Hey, asshat. Yeah, we know they don't sell these. You weren't selling the ones behind them. The empty seats weren't behind you. Which also, by the way, goes to, if you wanted to be all, schmancy about it, why don't you have a rotating stage in the middle? Do it in the round. If Dane Cook can fill that place with a rotating stage in the round, Trump can't, with you pulling up. I mean, I understand not a lot of people want to pay big dollars to see Donald Trump, but certainly you would have some sort of a pull. The O'Reilly acts have got to be buying the nosebleed seats just to be in the same, just to be downwind from you.
And sell them. It's a big...
Hey, fucko. These people aren't behind the stage. The stage is over there. You're not selling these. They can see you. What? All right.
The gross is what matters on these shows.
The gross is what matters, not the cost of the place. Now, how much was it? How much was it to rent and rig Panther Pavilion? Okay, do we have to look it up? How much to rent Panther Pavilion for one night? Dallas. Okay, that's Panther Island Pavilion. That's not what I want. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hold on. Let's see. Now I gotta look this shit up. God damn it. Let's see. What the hell? Panther. Let's see. Miami Stadium. There it is. Let's see. That's Sweet Rentals. Hold on. To rent about. Okay. Average price of a suite. How much? Host your event at the Hard Rock Stadium. Okay, Suite Rentals. The actual cost. It's only telling me the suite. Let's see. I'm just looking at, hold on. This is a Forbes article on the Hard Rock buying the Miami Dolphins Stadium naming rights for $250 million. They're just the naming rights. Let's see. AT&T is paying $19 million per year for its naming rights deal. That's just the naming rights deal. $400 million rights contract, New York Mets. Rebrand. I can't find this shit. Anybody? Yeah. Can anybody find out how much it costs to like put on a concert? Let's see. Venue rental costs Miami. Oops. Stadium. Package right means manufacturers. I don't want the hotel, god damn it. I want the whole thing. All right, Stadium. That's it. God damn it. I'll find it. I'm just gonna guess. Hold on. Shit. How much does it cost to put on a concert at Miami Stadium? Okay. No, I don't want the... This is just rooms. Son of a bitch. How much does it cost to produce stadium lease, personnel, promoters, a rock concert per night for a major band like the Foo Fighters? Okay. One of the newest hold on. Quit it. Back up. Go away. Mid-size arena, minimum 18,000 cap. That's the size. Would cost around $1.5 million. The major would earn around $1 million for the 45, 60-minute set. Small portion of production costs would be offset by sponsorship, but that's basically it. How much concert ticket sales did this take home at the stadium arena? Was the revenue? Gross ticket sales, mid-level managed split between the venue and band. How much it cost to organize a concert? Let's see. Quora, I don't care. No. So $1.5 million. The gross is $2 million. That's all you need to know.
Nobody's going to gross $7 million plus on 4 shows. No politician in the world. Why isn't that story?
Well, because nobody's going to try. Also, they're not trying to gross them in venues that cost $6.6 million, fucko. And especially if it's a 2-person show and one of the people is a fucking billionaire, allegedly.
Being written.
Let's move from the
Yeah.
as of the crowd.
Why isn't that being written?
You've just told the story because I would guess that Barack Obama, for example, you mentioned him, wasn't going out and trying to make money on interviews, right? That he was basically doing this interview with Michelle Obama. They had to add more times to the events. They had the same thing with Bill and Hillary Clinton. Excuse me. My guess is They weren't trying to make money.
Oh, stop. Yeah, I mean, okay.
I don't know.
Look,
You
I'm not
asked.
gonna
That's
argue
my
now.
guess.
They were able to fill up a place because they didn't charge a huge amount of tickets and they just sold a bunch of books and they autographed the world's largest book signings ever. Tickets were like $25 and they packed the goddamn place. 1.9 million plus permits, 4,000 for insurance, personal minimum per 100,000. Yeah, right. Fucking hell. He's going to be so broke at the end of this. Does this look like a man who's happy that he's making money on a 4-show tour?
The Clinton tour, they couldn't do it. I mean, they just couldn't do it financially. This is a history tour. I put this together. I had it's a history tour. They're touring, talking about history, his story, as it were. Donald Trump to do it. He didn't come to me. And I wanted to...
I had to convince Donald Trump to do it. He didn't come to me. Okay, and what was your pitch? I can get us 2 million gross on a $1.9 million venue.
On the record, certain things that I didn't know because they weren't reported that happened during his administration. And the headline that we got in Florida was that on January 5th, and this is very important for News Nation viewers, on January 5th, President Trump called...
Wait a fucking second. Does Bill O'Reilly have a show on News Nation? Do they carry his shit? Because that's usually the kind of thing you say when you're a guest on, when you're a guest on a show on a network you're also on, right?
Called the Pentagon, Christopher Miller, the acting defense chief, and asked for the National Guard to be deployed in front of the Capitol and other government buildings because he believed there was going to be so many people on the 6th. Now, that was not done, all right? But that takes away the House committee's allegation that Trump instigated the riot at the Capitol. So that's a big headline.
First of all, no, it doesn't, because it didn't happen. The fuck?
No, he stated it either, and we have it on the record.
I didn't know that either, but he did show up then on the 6th and still made the speech that he made, right?
Yes, he made a speech.
Yeah, he said, walk down there peacefully and patriotically, but if they don't do what we want, then we're going to have to be strong and we're going to have to fight or we're not going to have a country left.
But it wasn't, while he was making the speech, he didn't know what was happening. Now,
well, that's, by the way, in all fairness, that's true of the entirety of his presidency when it comes to anything that was meaningful to the governance of the United States of America. So there's that.
Texas, because we're going to be in Houston on Saturday and Dallas on Sunday.
If your voice holds out.
I'm going to ask him more thoroughly. Were you too late in your condemnation of the riot? And we're going to discuss that. And
if he shows up.
Donald Trump doesn't ask for questions in advance. He doesn't do that.
But I'm going to say it anyways.
He gets up there. He takes the fire. This isn't a cupcake interview. If you watch the transcript, you'll know I asked the toughest.
Yeah, guys, watch the transcript. You'll see.
As I could. And we got a lot of stuff on the record.
Well, that's what I want to ask about. I want to ask about the substance of some of what you've been talking about.
Or lack thereof.
With the former president. Here's a clip of one part of your conversation where the former president talks about the prospect of running in 2024.
You mean the part where he can't say it because if he does, he won't be able to take PAC money anymore and he needs the PAC money to survive? I'm curious.
We won the first time, and the second time we won by even more, and it looks like we might have to think about very strongly a third time.
We might have to think about very strongly a third time. That's a lot of qualifiers, and it sounds like he's sucking money out of those folks.
So does the host of the No Spin News, does he tell the former president to stop with the nonsense about having won in 2020?
He asked me my opinion, and I told him that was a loser. And I told him he should run on his record if he wants to go for another term. It's exactly what I told him. He asked me, and I said,
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as calling it out as a lie. You're just saying it won't work. It's not a good strategy. You could still, it's true, but I wouldn't run on it. It's not the same as saying it's false. You're a maniac. Knock it off.
what I told him.
Do you challenge him, though, when he says this again and again? Do you say, come on, stop, or
He's
say,
entitled
what
to,
is the
he's
evidence?
Entitled to it.
He's entitled
I
to what?
don't waste time on that. He's entitled to his opinion. I don't.
Yeah, it's not an opinion, fucko. He's misstating a factual event. It's not his opinion that he won emotionally, that he's I'm still a winner, even though I lost. You know, for fuck's sake, man. He lost. It's not an opinion.
To waste the 2 hours I have with him on that.
Dude, he's saying the same shit he always says anyways.
If I say, well, where's your evidence? He's going to come up with 15 things I can't possibly verify. So he's entitled.
Oh, sorry. For the record, he's going to come up with 15 things he can't possibly verify.
To his opinion. He doesn't believe that the election was honest. Obviously, history will go against him. This is the history tour. And
So the tour will go against him, especially in that it's not a tour.
Advancing.
This is, by the way, if you haven't watched this interview already, Bill O'Reilly takes off like Superman and flies away. Or I think he and Dan play patty cake to see who's... He's just trying to show how much bigger his hands are than Trump's.
The narrative. And the narrative is he's definitely going to run again unless there's an unforeseen circumstance.
An unforeseen circumstance, like he's not making any money and he needs the super PAC money to run, and unforeseen like jail time.
What the January 6th House Committee is all about. They want to take him off the board so he can't run again.
Why would they want to do that? I mean, obviously they definitely they have issues with him as a person being a terrible leader. But, one of the reasons you might want to take him off the board is because he tried to attack our fucking democracy. And if he loses the next time, he's probably going to say, I think I deserve another round after this one. So I'm going to get rid of elections entirely because you can't trust them anyways. I'm going to install myself like Xi or Putin. Why can't I? This is America.
This is all about in the House.
But again, I would just think that knowing he's going to run again, right? Knowing that he's
not
continuing on these stages again and again, it's not an opinion. He's making this stuff up about 2020. You know that. You've said it yourself.
Look,
you know he's making this stuff up.
It's
at
not
this
my
point.
job.
So why not just say to him, look,
look, it's not my job to ask him tough questions that will embarrass him. This is a cupcake interview. The fuck? How is... By the way, what the fuck is a cupcake interview? Hold on. God damn it. Where's this? Terrible. Why can't I? Where could this be? I guess here. This is just stupid. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Excuse me, Mr. President, can you shut the fuck up for a second? I'm sick of your repeating the same lie over and over again. This is a cupcake interview, okay? None of this O'Reilly horse shit where he won't push you. You're a liar. You're making up all of this stuff, okay? You might be able to go on tour with O'Reilly and repeat the same shit you're doing over, but cupcakes don't work like that, okay? Sweetums, okay, honey bunch? Listen here. You don't answer my questions. This cupcake is going to fuck you up. Cupcakes aren't afraid of shit, buddy. Stop lying about 2020. Start telling the truth about the fact we're heading into a recession in February. Start telling the truth about how you were blowing Xi at every turn when the whole goddamn thing was running. Shut up. Stop, your little hand. Stop your waving. Yeah, you want some softball questions? Why don't you go over there to Mr. Softball himself, Bill O'Reilly, all right? This is a cupcake interview, Cupcake. All right? Get your shit together. Fucking hell. Cupcake interview.
You're there. You said you're asking him the tough questions. That's the tough question to ask, no?
No, because it goes nowhere.
No, hey, yeah, it is a tough question, you fucking tool. Get your shit together. Fucking cupcakes.
It goes nowhere. He's not going to...
I'll tell you where it goes. It goes right up the frosting, buddy. Okay? I ain't no banana walnut muffin, all right? I'm not some breakfast food, giving you the illusion of health while being a naked cupcake over there with no frosting on. I'm the real fucking deal, buddy. All right? You need to start disparaging cupcake Americans like myself. You better check yourself. Oh, really?
His opinion. He thinks that the election was unfair.
That's not an opinion, fucko. Nobody has an opinion about gravity or the weight they were when they stepped off a fucking scale, you chump. And if you're going to disparage cupcakes that way, you got to expect some pushback, buddy. You said, hey, hey, set up 4 fucking dates where I get to interview him. You fucking muffin top moron.
Okay. History says it wasn't. Oh,
History? Facts, fucko. You don't have to wait for facts to become more true. And stop saying history will cover it when you're calling this the fucking history tour. You punk ass bastard. I'm sick of this. Shit. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a salted cupcake. That's right. Get used to the idea, bitches. I will mess you up. Disparaging cupcakes. You keep talking like that, buddy. Yeah, just keep flapping. Me and my buddy Ice Cream Sunday are gonna come and show up on your lawn. Yeah. And when the police arrive, you're gonna be covered in whipped cream. It's gonna be ugly, buddy. Won't you? This is a hate crime. Pretend cupcakes don't have any feelings. Like, this cupcake cares more about the truth than you do, you fucking dipshit.
Hey, let's move forward. That's my...
Yeah, let's move forward. Get yourself a fucking glass of milk and take a bite. Come on, bring it, buddy.
Why do I want to relitigate an election for 2 hours?
Because that's what he's doing, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm the meanest cupcake in the world. How is it that you're being out tough guyed by a cupcake, Bill? Huh? Yeah, you pervert. God damn, man, if I had arms, well, I got one arm. It's pretty buff, actually, considering my sugary diet. Look at that. Especially the cut under that side. That's nice. Oh, look, I have another hand, too.
People are paying good money, all right? Here, what is going to happen down the road? What?
They're paying good money to hear old bullshit. All right, this is just fucking stupid.
Let's agree.
That's a waste of time.
Let's agree. Right.
Yes, let's agree. The whole interview is a waste of time. There, I'm glad we could settle on something.
It's a bad show for the people who are there if you keep following up on that issue. Fair?
It's a bad show for anybody. It's just a merry-go-round that you can't get off.
Because once Trump gets stuck on that, he's not.
He sees it that way.
Reality sees it the other way.
Sees it this way.
Yeah.
All right. He knows the history books.
This isn't about whether or not the South was like slavery was, the main reason the South fought the Civil War, which of course it was. It's just a bunch of good people on either side, just kind of having a little difference of opinion.
Not going to reflect any kind of opinion that he has that it was rigged. He knows that. So let's go move it forward, right?
Well, except that he's running again, as you said, and, you know, there are things to be concerned about.
For him.
Well, then don't vote for him. If he can't let go of the past and he's a doddering old fart who talks around in circles and can't let go of grudges, then just don't vote for him. Okay.
No, but that's not about voting. I'm saying
him.
putting aside. No, I'm saying people who support him. People who support his policies may still be concerned about 2024 in terms of him claiming again, whether he wins or he loses, some dangerous.
People who want to vote for him in 2024 may be concerned by what a boring fuck he is.
Look, Dan, come on, listen to yourself. If they want to be concerned about the last election, they have a right to be concerned about whatever they want. The reality is, if Donald Trump runs, he's going to have to run against a Democrat. Okay, and I'll give your audience this. Hillary Clinton wants the nomination. She knows the Biden administration's fallen apart, which is...
No, she knows no such thing.
Why you're seeing her surface right now. So
you're seeing her surface right now because she's a continuing force in Democratic politics, and she's teaching a master class, and people are clipping the master class and showing it themselves. That's a subscription service that no one has to look at. This isn't her. She went on a hike, and according to Judge Janine, and a woman took a picture with her while she was walking her dog, and she has a masterclass. That's not surfacing again.
Would be a replay, but voters make up their own mind. And
oh yes, that's true. All combined, Trump voters have one mind.
But voters make up their own mind, and everybody knows now. And when Donald Trump asks me, I don't volunteer advice to any president. They ask.
Well, he's not a president, so you can volunteer advice to him as a citizen. Whom, just shitty old sex offender to sex offender. You guys could just, offer each other advice. He could learn from you. Actually, you could learn from him because you paid $32 million to make your sexual assault allegations go away. It only cost him $140K.
And they all have since Bill Clinton. My opinion on certain things. I told President Trump, run on your record. That's where your strength is. That's it.
Let me play one more piece of sound. This is where President Trump was talking about.
He doesn't look happy that people are going to play pieces of this. Shit.
Various relationships with some world leaders that he had to deal with. Let's play.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He always talks about this. Why is this? Literally, you're picking two clips, and this is going to be shit he says all the time.
I got along great with Putin. I got along great with President Xi.
It's the fucking same thing he says at the rallies.
And I got along great with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. And isn't that good? Isn't that...
No, it's not good. Handling Kim Jong-un is good. Dealing with him is good. Getting along with him is fucked up. He's a murderer. He kills his own citizens for watching television shows.
Than having a nuclear war? I did. I got along great with him. I liked him. He liked me.
None of the presidents before you that dealt with him had a nuclear war either, but they didn't kiss his ass.
Beautiful letters. He wrote me beautiful letters. I called them love letters, and the press said, he's saying he wrote letters. And they are love letters.
I'm sitting here trying to imagine Bill O'Reilly doing an interview with, I don't know, Obama, Hillary Clinton, saying they're talking about getting love letters from, a dictator in North Korea or whoever it is. O'Reilly's going to follow up on that and say, wait a sec, love letters?
O'Reilly already did. You'll remember the first interview Donald Trump did after he was inaugurated. I told Donald Trump that Putin was a killer, and what are you going to do about him? You'll remember, that's a famous soundbite. And he said, well, we're not so pure ourselves here. So Trump's answer is
Yeah, that's fucked up.
reflective of Trump's way of governing. He's a deal maker, and he'll make a
Citation needed. What? I'm sorry. Deals? What deal are you talking about? What deal are we discussing here? Are we talking about his deal with China, his trade deal, of which they honored a third of it?
deal with the devil if he believes the deal is good for the USA. And his posture is,
Hi, fuckhead. There is no situation where a deal with the devil is good for the USA.
it was better to have Xi and Putin and Little Rocket Man not be belligerent. And if you look back, we didn't have Chinese planes flying over Taiwan.
We still don't.
Russian troops massed on the Ukrainian border.
Yes, they did.
Trump. That did not happen.
1,000 people in the chat today. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Russian troops, Ukraine border. Whoops. During troop. Whoops. Ah, shit. Wrong. Typing in the wrong thing. Troops, Ukraine border during troop. See if I can find this will be in the news. Let's see. 2018. Whoops. Yeah, here's Trump making a deal. Ukraine is ground zero for the crisis between Russia and the West. As Trump and Putin meet in Helsinki, the confrontation reflects a larger and, for now, probably unbridgeable divide. To land in Kyiv is to reach ground zero of today's confrontation between Russia and the West. The start of the Ukraine conflict is, depending on one's chronology. Hold on, let me blow this up a little bit. The defining moment of their crisis. It's here that in the spring of 2014, Moscow organized a referendum of dubious legitimacy to annex Crimea, that Russia used troops whose existence it denied to help rebels seize parts of Donbass in the country's east. And those rebels, okay, we've seen this part. Okay, in broader sense, Ukraine conflict is a microcosm of what the West sees in Russia and Russia sees in the West for Europe and the United States. It was typical of Vladimir Putin. Moscow's intervention was driven by fear of so-called color revolutions, the popular uprisings that brought down numerous Russian-friendly governments in the former Soviet sphere, and its refusal to see those former Soviet republics drift towards Europe or NATO. It involved the use of raw physical force, and Georgia before Ukraine and Syria afterward, the blatant violations of sovereignty and unilateral changes to international borders, reliance on armed proxies and forms of hybrid warfare. Let's see, where's the part? There's sustained gridlock. Ukraine's crisis reflects the wider, presently unbridgeable Russian-Western divide. Kyiv and Moscow, in principle, have endorsed the Minsk agreements, which remain the only legitimate framework for resolving them. That provide for a ceasefire, blah, blah, blah. I want to hurry. This is more like a history lesson. Okay. Finally, the outsized role President Donald Trump plays in Ukraine is a microcosm of the role he plays on the larger Russian Western stage, an object of some hope, some fear, and considerable amusement. He has blamed Russia's Ukrainian land grab on President Barack Obama's weakness, thereby suggesting he would be stronger, while in the same breath expressing admiration for his Russian counterpart. He's earned gratitude from Moscow's foes by providing Ukrainian government forces with offensive weapons while throwing them into despair by hinting that Russia could legitimately hold on to Crimea. His recent attacks on the Nord Stream pipeline project, which would deal a devastating blow to Ukraine by providing Russia with an alternative route for its gas exports, provoke elation among some Ukrainians, while his simultaneous jibes at NATO fill them with angst. Many Ukrainians don't know whether his White House will save or doom them. This is, strength.
And that's what his thrust is. You may not like them, but I dealt with them in an effective way. Again, this is the history tour.
Yeah.
It's not
Right,
trying
no,
to
and
Yeah, that's why you're not asking him about 2020. It's just not enough history.
cut
well, with
Trump's
Kim
legs
Jong-un,
out from under him.
right? But Kim, as you know, Kim
What about
Jong-un continued to build nuclear weapons, continued to pursue to testing, et cetera,
He
despite
didn't
the fact
cause
that
a
he was
lot of
saying
trouble under the Trump administration.
He didn't cause a lot of trouble. He just developed weapons and hid them and didn't fire them until Trump was out of office. You know, he just basically stored and prepared. You know, that's not trouble. Trouble's what happens later when you launch them. That's somebody else's fault.
fired a couple of rockets in the ocean.
oh yeah, just
but he didn't cause
couple
a
little
lot
rockets,
of trouble
little rockets.
in the ocean.
They were come on,
Yeah, in the
come
ocean.
on, come on. All right,
Look,
Bill, hang on,
the
stick
guy
around.
is an unstable dictator.
Let me take a quick break. Coming.
Yes, he's an unstable dictator that Trump got love letters from. And you just spent the last couple minutes defending that bullshit. By the way, this started with, let us not forget the most beautiful moment in this entire thing, of course, is that O'Reilly said they don't bother to sell line of sight tickets in arenas because you can't. Okay, now, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff. Let's go to Ingram because she's having a hard time. She and Sean Hannity are having a rough time right now. Their texts were read by Liz Cheney. They don't know who to trust anymore. And but the good thing is, I always like, and many of you like as much as I do, I like it when the right tells me what I'm thinking. As a Democrat, I like it when they can. Sometimes I don't know where we're going. You know what I mean? And I know we control all of big tech, the huge corporations, and most of the world government, but we're also weak, and we had to steal it all. But half the time I'm so busy keeping up with all those things that I don't know what we're doing next. Right? Do you? And so I turn to Laura Ingram to tell me what I'm going to do next. So, you know what I mean? Because it's not prognosticating. It's somewhere between directions and a premonition.
COVID will be behind us, you're thinking. Maybe it will be after Omicron, but there'll be fewer and fewer states with mandates or restrictions.
Yeah, at some point.
And I know you can't wait for the old normal to be back. Cheap gas, affordable airfare, the freedom to move around without masks, without having to show your
Yeah.
card. Boost if you feel like it, don't if you don't.
Oh, all right. So, but there'll be a new one. Oh, gosh. Okay, here it comes. The next, is it airborne cancer? Is that what we're doing next?
All looking forward to the end of shaming and recriminations. But before you get off...
Well, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, Laura, but I'm sure there's someone at Fox News who doesn't look forward to the end of shaming.
Excited, let me tell you what the organized left has planned for you.
Oh, good. Thank God. The organized left. Because we're the disorganized left. We don't know what's going on. So the organized left. Okay, tell us what's up.
First, an end to private vehicular travel.
Oh, the end to private vehicular travel. You're not going to be able to buy a car anymore, folks. Not only going to be priced out, but hold on. She's awful pretty. I think I know somebody who'd want to talk to her. I'm just going to guess. Hi. You sure are a pretty lady. I'd like to hear your story. Now, I just like the way she said vehicle. Vehicular travel. Hey, did somebody say hick?
Listen carefully to Trudy Harrison, who works for British Prime Minister.
Trudy Harrison. She works for the British Prime Minister, which is not in America. Fuck, I hate geography tests.
Boris Johnson.
That we can decide.
Hold on. For Boris Johnson, I like Boris Johnson. He's that dude with Trump hair who like shit himself the other day while he was trying to talk or something.
A transport system that is fit for the future and free of fossil.
Boy, she sure sounds smart. Oh, no, to talk like that if I could. Yeah, hello, live out my countryside. A bit of a.
Fuels, which moves us away from the 20th century thinking centred around private vehicle ownership and towards greater flexibility with personal choice.
The CCP would be...
No, move us away from private vehicle to more choice. How does that work exactly?
Proud.
And by the way, are we now letting Brits run our government? Left's new normal, end of independence. Oh my God. You know what? Holy shit. The British don't believe in independence. We should, I don't know, think about declaring independence from them. Ha ha! I don't know why anybody didn't think of that till now.
Greater flexibility, she said, with personal choice. But whose choice is it exactly to go...
Well, clearly your Uber driver, who, you know, or a taxi driver. They got one of them old taxis you drive, which got the bubble hat. They look like a cop's hat over there. And that's, he was the murderer in that Sherlock show.
Not mine, not yours.
Well, you take a limo to work. I know because I often ride behind you on a bicycle going, Laura, wait up, sign this too. And then they make me zip up.
Decisions about how to restrict and track your personal travel are being made right now by global bureaucrats.
Oh, dear. In England?
The trendy climate change thinking in Europe is already here, and it's wrapped in a public health emergency. It's just another attempt to foist new rules on you without your consent.
Well, please, I'm sure you will inform us how members of British Parliament will pass a bill restricting free travel in the United States of America. I'm already scared.
Now, their ultimate goal, limiting your ability to travel with convenience. When you want, where you want.
And by the way, I often will travel with Convenience. She goes to our church. She's lovely. Convenience Netherwesians. And Convenience she calls good. We call her Connie. Convenience Netherwesian. She's just wonderful. She's a preacher's wife. 3 days out of the week. They have this time-sharing deal. I don't know how it works. Anyways, the Lord appreciates it. We have a polyamorous arrangement at our church. But sometimes she will need a ride someplace. If you know what I mean.
This would mean an end to private car ownership as we've known it and loved it for decades.
Oh, so we would have private car ownership, but differently than we have known it and loved it. Because I love my car, man. I love the smell of rust in the morning.
Think about it this way. It's the image of the middle-class American dream, though. A job to support your family, buying your own home, and your own car.
Excuse me, ma'am. What if those are all one thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, personally, that's all three of those things I have combined in what I call the barge rope of the American dream. I live in my vehicle, which has wheels that I don't rightly use very often, and I captured my wife and brought her there from the hills. It was part of a rodeo thing. It's kind of like it's like Bumble with rope.
Elites have hated for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah. They hate cars. Yeah, the elites hate cars, especially the ones that take a limousine to work.
Gun buybacks, right? Well, I wouldn't put they're doing a car buyback. Why not? Because they...
Yeah. I mean, well, because you can kill somebody with a car. You could run somebody over with a car. They should buy them back. That's what I'm concerned about. We should have see how some people are against automatic weapons? I'm against automatic cars. That's right. American society went in a shitter the minute we started having automatic weapons and automatic cars. We should have muzzle-loading vehicles and hand-crank guns.
We all run around on these in Crocs.
And what?
And maybe a sweaty...
run around those and Crocs?
On these in Crocs. And maybe a sweaty hoodie. Then we
Crocs and a sweaty hoodie. What in the world does your Tinder profile say on wants and needs?
all live like the urban dwellers who were happy to stay home during COVID, ordering in, growing herbs in little pots on their little...
Well, yeah, I would never want to ride one of those through the mountains. That'd be fucked up.
...balconies playing Fortnite. Now, this government depends...
Excuse me. For my girl and me, any night where the couch cushions are clean is Fortnite, if you know what I'm saying. Come on! You ever play Fortnite? It's a good time. We burn a couple of weed-scented candles, put a couple of drops of CBD oil in there, semen boil oil. What, I don't know how it works. And then you gather all the cushions together, and you drop your pants and go, baby, it's Fortnite. You can do that for 14 days straight. Do it for 15, you'll die of dehydration.
Mindset existed before COVID for sure. But now
Sure.
it's worse. And Team Biden and the Democrats are hoping to exploit this dependency that they've grown going into 2022 and later in 2024.
Oh, that's so. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to wait for a new pair of Crocs and a scooter and to play for 3 more fucking years.
Some of you may be thinking that I'm just too pessimistic here.
No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I think that's what I was thinking. Honestly, was that's a lovely dress to wear deer hunting because no one will mistake you for one. It's also you look like you're on your way to a formal gathering where you are in charge of flagging traffic past the cones. And I like a woman who's gainfully employed in a middle class setting on a road team.
We're going to go the way of Europe. We're too strong and independent. But after watching our flaccid public response to some of these COVID
Sean, she's calling you out.
Controls, I have to tell you, I'm not that confident. Think about how many...
You seem confident. I mean, it takes a lot of confidence to get that much lip filler and go with the blue eye shade that goes right across your nose. Like, I get it's around here. That's pretty. But it looks like you just kind of like a Cylon Raider or some shit.
Americans are rushing out to buy electric cars because they think electricity will be cheap and even maybe free.
Right. Well, I mean, if you have solar panels on your house and you got a little bit of time, nobody can grow oil from their rooftop. I'm just saying, much less refine it into a fuel source. I mean, you can drink it. Don't ask me how I know that.
Tens of thousands of charging stations across America. How awesome is that? Well,
pretty awesome.
Until you realize
awesome.
that Democrats plan to follow Europe and make electricity far more expensive here as well.
Now, how would they do that if you were off the grid with solar panels or you had geothermal at your house? You'd be completely off the grid. And then you'd only have to charge. I mean, you still got to pull over on the road when you're getting gas. It's not like they don't know where the gas stations are. There aren't no stealth gas stations.
Ideally, they'd like to restrict it.
That's a hot car, though. I'll tell you right now. I'd like to live in that thing. Could probably sleep in the cup holder.
Supply. What's happening in Europe right now is terrifying.
Oh, no.
European Union Labor Commissioner Nicholas Schmidt on Sunday warned that there are already millions of people in Europe not able to heat their homes sufficiently, and this...
Oh, dear. Oh, it seems like that would be a problem that America could have if we didn't have our own solar panels.
Number could rise further.
Don't they still use oil and gas and coal a lot and nuclear? They ain't lacking. They added solar. They didn't take gas away. What's all that shit about the Nord Stream then?
And I have another question. What happens when...
Okay, well, all I can say is I don't think you're ready for this jelly. If you like it, then you put a ring on it. If you like it, then you should. But the answer is yes. Marry me. I mean, you ask me. You ask me, I don't want to ask you. I'm a forward-thinking individual.
Wind doesn't blow. Bloomberg notes that...
Hey, ma'am, do not worry about the wind blowing. We have got that covered for you, baby. I am a source of natural gas. You and I will settle down in a trailer that don't go nowhere, and if we need to drive someplace, we will never run out. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh boy. Let me tell you, I'll keep you warm on a cold night. You ain't had a Dutch oven until you slept over with me. Oh boy. Oh, look at that. I can hit the same note every time. There you go. That's talent.
Low speeds have reduced output. And then they cite years of lower investment in oil and gas.
Oh dear.
Well, whose fault?
Europe Egnerny Kernch to Langer as power prices height records of renewable Egnerny Sour Patch Kids has also strangled with the low wind speeds reducing output for most of the year. Well, hold on. I need my buddy to look this up for me. 1 second. Hi, let me look that up for you 1 second, if I may. I'm sure this article says exactly what they say. Okay, so Bloomberg, Europe Energy Crunch, to linger. Here's the article. Let's see if it says everything they say it says. It says. There you go. Electricity prices hit all-time high in Germany and France. Freezing weather is forcing utilities to burn fossil fuels. Europe's energy crunch is set to last as electricity prices. Hold on, let me blow this up even bigger. There you go. It says fueling inflation and raising bills for millions of households and industry. Wait a minute. Fueling inflation? I thought inflation was a Biden problem. That's so Biden is such a terrible president. He's making Europe energy prices go up. Power prices for delivery next year surged over 15% in Germany and almost 14% in France by Wednesday's market close, as freezing weather has forced European utilities to burn more gas, coal, and even oil to keep the lights on. High prices this month are spilling into foreign futures for the following years, a sign that the crunch could last longer than many expected. There's still a lot of winter left. High energy prices for the rest of the season as the optionality to use stored gas or hydropower is lost. Oh. The option to use stored gas and hydropower. So they were already burning those things. Okay. The world is facing energy shortages. Economies recover from pandemic, boosting demand. I see. I was led to believe that this was due to policies as opposed to the economies are recovering and are boosting demand as businesses all go back at once. At the same time, supply hasn't been able to keep up due to years of lower investments in fossil fuels. That's Europe stuff. Europe's wide network of renewable energy sources has also struggled with low wind speeds, reducing output most of the year. That's the part she snagged onto. Now, German power for the next year, a European benchmark, reached 192 euros a megawatt hour, while the equivalent French contract surged to a high of 222 euros for closing at 222.5. As utilities burn more fossil fuels, carbon prices surged to a record 97.5 a metric ton. So they already have a carbon offset price that's baked into the cost. With options traders betting prices will hit 100 euros before the end of the year, carbon closed at 88.88 euros. For consumers, higher gas and power prices are adding to an increase in food and transport costs. Bank of said this week the UK inflation may surpass 5% early next year. Oh, that could happen as energy regulator Ofgem allows utilities to raise prices for consumers again in April. Europe has shifting away from fossil fuels bid to reduce emissions, and it has also curbed its use of nuclear power. That's leaving the continent to rely on renewable power such as wind, solar, which are intermittent sources. The retirement of conventional power plants that can quickly be turned on and off is increasing the impact of renewable energy production on market pricing. Commodities Trafigura Group said in its annual report. The structural shift away from coal and nuclear towards the wind and solar is also causing severe strains in the power system. Again, this happens when you you choose an on-off switch as opposed to a long-form transition. How dare you? And you do this in the developing world and you kill lots of people. We're not doing this. This isn't the plan. Biden's caught shit from progressives for not doing this specifically because it's what freezes people to death during the winter. All right, so here we go. Now this is Europe, though, so there you go. Oh, sorry. There we go.
Europe is now finding itself unable to affordably heat their homes, all self-inflicted wounds. The Eurocrats just run things, and they're all twisted.
Yeah, but
the French.
Yeah, just all. I mean, and by the way, she's reading from a teleprompter.
Things, and they're all twisted. The French.
Yeah. I mean, and if somebody were to.
And they're all twisted.
If somebody took like a clip of her, like the other day when she froze up for God knows why, and just played it on a loop, like she does with Biden whenever he's reading from a teleprompter and he's waiting for it to move, and you'd end up with things
and they're all twisted.
Twisted, yeah. I mean, that would just make your brain not work.
Transport minister actually bragged about eliminating travel options for travelers.
France got a lot of attention for banning short-haul flights in places where you could take the train 2.5 hours.
Short-haul flights in places where you could take the train 2.5 hours. So hour-long flights versus 2 hour on a train.
This be strengthened.
We've developed quite a big network of high-speed trains. And when you have a competition between the rail, the high-speed rail, and the planes, the rail wins.
Now, why should this be a government decision? Because...
Wait, hold on. He bragged about... I mean, first of all, this is an edit. But is that what you guys heard him say?
Travelers.
France got a lot of attention for banning short-haul flights in places where you could take the train 2.5 hours. Should this be strengthened?
We've developed quite a big network of high-speed trains. And when you have a competition between the rail, the high-speed rail, and the planes, the rail wins.
Now, why should this...
Sorry. When you have competition between train and the rail... Huh?
Government decision because they don't like the free market. That's why. Now
yeah, that's why he was touting competition.
Anytime a Democrat uses children to push an unpopular, unwise policy proposal, and just as with COVID, school closures.
Oh, you mean like abortion restrictions?
Or for the kids' safety, ditto.
Or like school lunches, or I don't know, universal pre-K, that kind of thing, like that kind of child welfare?
For electric school buses.
Every day, more than 25 million children.
And this is the Chiron. We're largely led by fools. Well, at least they're not operating like Newsmax at this point.
Thousands of drivers.
Seriously, honest to God, this is the same shit Newsmax puts underneath stuff. And real news channels often will take a quote, even if it's a piece of what the person is saying that they're taking out of context, and they'll go, Kamala Harris speaks at blah, 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 and then they'll have a quote from her that out of context makes it look like she's saying something more egregious than she is. That's normal, Fox.
Ride to and from school on diesel buses, breathing toxic fumes. Making the switch from diesel to electric is about improving the health and well-being of our children, of our future.
No applause there. Now, if that stupidity doesn't scare...
Yeah, she's still talking. First of all, no applause there? Then why'd you cut? Because I heard some people going, like that. So who's she talking to? No applause there. Well, if there's no applause, then leave it hanging.
Of our future.
No
applause between future and the cut. There was no applause there. I don't know why people. Why aren't Kamala's audiences faster on the applause so that they can make the Laura Ingraham cut.
There. Now, if that stupidity doesn't scare you, just remember who'll be in charge of the Biden-Harris EV plan.
National Climate Advisor. I'm Jennifer Granholm. I think I'm the good friend she's referring to. I am the Secretary of Energy, and this classy Class A truck is a Kenworth fuel cell vehicle that we are about to ride in. So, are you not excited? We have a deal, a bipartisan infrastructure framework deal.
We do, and it's awesome.
It is awesome.
It's big and it's beautiful.
And it's bold.
Now, I know what you're saying here. These are incredibly smart and talented people, and they're not alone. Now,
I know. Hold on. She didn't, they didn't do this. At least she's, and by the way, that's the president pretending to drive a truck. What in the, honestly, I don't even remember this one. That's so fucking ridiculous. I remember him honking. Hello. Hello. What in the hell? We're mostly led by idiots, are we, Laura?
Knew a former Rhodes Scholar could have such foresight.
The people who stand.
Hold on. Transportation Secretary booted. And by the way, you're not a former Rhodes Scholar. You're a Rhodes Scholar forever. It's kind of the title.
Benefit most from owning an EV are often rural residents who have the longest distances to drive. They burn the most gas.
And now, being from South Bend, Indiana, does he actually not realize that farmers often need to drive long distances for which a battery is not always practical?
Yeah, by the way, neither was gas. That's why the government subsidized all the gas pumps you see in this entire fucking country. That's why oil companies get nonstop subsidies, because we had to make sure they could afford to station gas stations all over the country. Because that's why the primary plot point in a lot of old horror films was running out of gas on a country road. Literally range anxiety as a plot point. All right, hold on one second. Let's see. Electric F-150 range. This is the $42,000 estimated price on the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. Here's what we know so far. Let's see. The standard range battery is said to deliver up to 230 miles per charge, and the extended range juice pack is aiming for 300 miles. But by the time the F-150 reaches the market, it won't be the only all-electric pickup. Oh my God. GMC's Hummer EV SUT is close to its launch, and a rival truck from Rivian will also beat Ford to the punch. Neither of the trucks have the strength of the F-150 name. Well, it's, I don't know, you have to guess that about Hummer. This is $80,000 for this guy. What's the range on this sucker? New pickup is shaping up to be quite a beast with 1,000 horsepower from its top powertrain option, which uses 3 electric motors, offers a range of 350 miles per charge, and leaps to 60 miles per hour in a claimed 3.0 seconds. The Hummer EV also features a removable roof panels, optional adjustable air suspension, cool 4-wheel steering feature that allows you to crab sideways, which is just awesome. Oh, wait, that's an eBay thing. These are the available. The edition one's $112,000, but the EV2, the base one, is $80,000. engine, transmission, performance. Do they have the crab crawl? I mean, that thing's fucking awesome looking. 350 miles. So she thinks most rural drivers have to drive 350 miles to a place they're going to be for less than 15 minutes and turn right around and come back, and that place is going to be equally as rural.
Or maybe the farmers should all travel on something a little more creative.
I mean, I understand that she thinks that what she's trying to do for the aging audience is attach these hipster street riding vehicles that she sees in New York and in Washington, D.C., to what you're going to end up having to drive. When the rest of us are like, oh yeah, I like that thing. It looks kind of like the Marty McFly vehicle.
Cool. Can you imagine Joe on that contraption, by the way?
Yes, I cannot imagine Trump on it, but I will say, let's see, Biden driving electric car. Mm-hmm. You take off, he gets inside, they start it up, blah, blah, blah. This is the beast behind him. Let's see if he takes off in it. And they're out in the middle of a thing. This is where, yeah, he turns her around. He's like, hold on. Let me turn this guy around. And yeah. So meanwhile, there's Biden, actually a licensed driver. And here's Trump. Meanwhile, it's aiming at everybody. They need to let him get out on a big track. But anyways, so can you imagine Trump driving that vehicle and not losing his shit and crashing into those other trucks?
Is he reading scripts that other people wrote for him, including a recent litany of things that you'll get if you buy an EV after the so-called Build Back Better passes, including a $4,500 tax credit if the vehicle is assembled domestically with union labor.
Oh my God, why would anybody want that? Oh my God, made in America? Gross.
Obvious payoff to the unions, which one of the smartest
or to Americans
innovators on the planet, Elon Musk, doesn't much like. He recommended that Biden kill the bill.
I would say, honestly, I would just can this whole bill. Don't pass it. That's my recommendation.
Well, yeah, because Tesla got they got money in the original 2009 bailout, which was the seed, like all that shit that's behind him was seeded with taxpayer money. It would not exist. There would be no, without the Obama bailout from 2009, there would be no Tesla, there would be no SpaceX. And right now, what his concern is that Rivian and some of these other companies, and of course the bigger car companies, will get and including Tesla, will get a smaller slice of the pie across all those electric vehicles.
The billionaires at the World Economic Forum in Davos believe that they do know best. And they spoke openly earlier this year about a wholesale transformation that is necessary among independent nations across the globe.
2021 will be the critical year to re-establish trust in our ability to shape our common future in collective and constructive ways.
The recovery cannot be a mere restart. The reconstruction must be a transformation.
Oh, by the way, this is the same shit that Glenn Beck is always talking about, the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. That's what he's talking about.
Capitalism that works for everyone.
But a true resetting of
capitalism that works for everyone. You know, communism. What?
Capitalism requires smashing the United States, and also will mean that everyone's standard of living here will necessarily go down as prices for energy go up. That means...
Well, not if we handle our renewable situation over here and move towards micronuclear and improve battery capability. All scientific advances that are happening and will continue to happen.
Wasting billions on things like building EV charging stations across 5 military installations.
And why would we not want to do that?
Every year. Now, aside from being completely in over his head, Biden openly revealed the goal. To fight climate change, he wants to get as many cars off the road as possible.
We will take literally millions of automobiles off the road, saving tens of millions of barrels of oil, dealing with cleaning up the air. This is not hyperbole, this is a fact. These are facts.
Well, there's another fact.
Right, yeah, taking gas-powered vehicles off the road.
Joe, let me be clear. I like Teslas a lot. I love biking, like the bike lanes, but I also like traditional combustion engine vehicles and driving wherever I choose. The government has no...
Prove it. Until I see you actually driving a car, Laura Ingraham, I'm not going to assume you have a driver's license only to vote or to show as ID places while you're driven everywhere.
Right to tell us what to do on...
Yes, that's true. By the way, Ms. Bashful, he is talking about the federal fleet in particular in that.
Front. Picking winners and losers, no way. Because they declare another emergency? No thanks. The coming lockdowns may look a lot different, but the effect will be the same.
Oh, I see. The next lockdown will be that you're not allowed to own a car and therefore you can't go anywhere. I didn't know what the fuck this graphic meant. I was like, didn't you think at the beginning of this, she was like, oh, COVID's here, but they've got some disease in their back pocket they're going to use to, right? Isn't that what you thought?
Less freedom and a lower standard of living, all because the government decrees it as such. We must never allow this to happen in our country. And Joe Manchin?
Government would love nothing more than to lower your standard of living. Well, no, I mean, technically speaking, especially these electric cars look pretty fucking nice.
He should hear from every
Thanks,
concerned
Maria.
voter in West Virginia. Vote for this Build Back Better boondoggle, and your career in office is over. Politicians who are supporting this climate agenda must be beaten at the polls and beaten badly. We don't want to be California with the rolling blackouts, huge crime spikes, economic losses, and shrinking population.
And and apparently a jacked up real estate market because actually a lot of people are moving there with a cleaner air environment than most of the other states, even the rural ones, even though they have giant cities. And the, 9th largest economy in the whole fucking world?
We will not be locked down again, not by a COVID emergency and not by a climate emergency. And
this is, by the way, this is the same thing as the Glenn Beck Tucker thing. This is, Jimmy Dore does this and TYT do this a lot as well, which is the make up a fake thing that's going to happen, threaten what will happen if they try it, knowing full well it's not, and no one's intending to actually go through with something like this nightmare scenario they put forward. And when they don't, claim credit for you and your viewers shutting it down.
The angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That's the angle. Literally nothing was fucking said. What a waste of fucking time. All right, so let's see. There's which one's right. So we didn't get a chance to get to Bongino, and this is him attacking Liz Cheney. So if you know me, and by the way, this graphic freeze is pretty solid. It will start up there. that anytime we get to watch the right fucking with their own, awesome.
Click here to subscribe.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to click on that. I want to go to this one.
Okay, folks, the tyranny is here. It's no longer a cautionary tale. I want you to listen.
Goes all in, and this is the title of this. Liz Cheney fully exposed as she goes all in with Democrats, Pelosi, comma Pelosi, not
to
slash.
This grotesque person, Liz Cheney, who has sold out her values, sold out her party, sold out the constitutional republic. She is now fully engaged in an effort.
Because she's not allowing people who were behind an attack on the nation's capital and who tried to stop our peaceful transfer of power. That's her turning on the Republican Party. Just for the record, Bongino, who is looking for TP for his bunghole, is going on record to say that Liz Cheney is turning her back on the Republican Party and her conservative values, because what is the Republican Party about? What are conservative values? Breaking into the Capitol when the election doesn't go your way, and stealing things, beating up cops, and shitting in the place and wiping turds on the walls. Because that, to Bongino, who is looking for TP for his bunghole, that's what defines conservatism for him.
Turn the United States into a third world republic, where the party, the opposite party in power, the Democrats, Liz Cheney is effectively a full-blown Democrat right now. Liz Cheney is now using...
Wait, then why didn't she vote for the infrastructure bill? Why is she not a vote they can count on for the Build Back Better plan? She's a full-on Democrat. I mean, come on.
Power and force of government and the congressional subpoena power to not only get a hold of private text messages between people, but she wants to read them in public now to make sure you know, if you're a conservative, that don't you dare communicate with other conservatives before the next election, because we could subpoena you and we're going to read them out loud. Now,
why would they be concerned if their text messages got read if they weren't doing anything unpatriotic? Why would that affect them in any way? I mean, you could feel that it was a violation of your personal privacy. She didn't read anything that was between family members. It was all distinctly to do with January 6th. It was actual communications that happened during the attack on the Capitol. They weren't just, and the lead up to it related to those things. But there were lots of other text messages mixed in there. She didn't read any of those. She didn't read, pick up some milk on your way home texts from whoever Mark Meadows keeps in his home in a GIMP mask or whatever.
I'm not going to read the text. She had texts from Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Brian Kilmeade.
What? Oh. Let's see. Liz Cheney reads texts. Let's see. Images. You mean like, let's see. Listen to Cheney read about last night. Read these Fox News policies. These folks. There was a graphic somebody put up that had all three of them. Let's see. Oh, let's just go back to this. Liz Cheney reads texts, and we'll go straight to, like this one. Mark, the president needs to tell people in the Capitol to go home. Can he make a statement asking people to leave the Capitol? It has gone too far. Fix this now. Let's see. Lawmaker on January 6, 2021, Vice President Mike Pence, as president of the Senate, should call out all electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes at all. Doop. Please check your Signal. That was a member of Congress talking to Meadows. Signal is like Telegram or one of these other things, but it's an encrypted, it's like WhatsApp. Let's see. What are the other ones? Here, the president needs to stop this ASAP. Let's see, Liz Cheney's latest move that reads text written by Sean Hannity. He's got to condemn this shit. Donald Trump Jr. That one came up. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. So, what? I don't know why you wouldn't read them, Bongino, other than the fact that you know that they are unpatriotic attacks on our democracy.
To Mark Meadows, I'm not going to read the text because you know what? It's none of your. It's none of our business.
No, it is our business, fucko. It's the chief of staff to the sitting president at that time coordinating an attack on the fucking Capitol. It is our business. If anything is our business as citizens, this is it. The fact that you fucking think that these people should be allowed to attack our Capitol because, hey, they got voted in. Anybody who gets voted into office is free to break any laws they want. Apparently, you think everything Biden does legally is a violation of the law and you want it shut down. But we actually find out that criminal acts were taking place on the 5th and 6th. And this is personal business. This is just personal between Don Jr. and the guy he talks to because his dad won't return his calls.
What Kilmeade and Ingram and
Hillary Clinton in her emails, and
he may have said to Mark Meadows, but it proves a point that the January 6th incident, what happened there, that everyone was surprised by it. So Liz Cheney doesn't even realize she's making the opposite point.
No, they weren't surprised. And by the way, no one is saying that Sean Hannity and Don Jr. and Laura Ingraham were involved in it. They were trying to reach him and he didn't do anything. These are people he listens to and he ignored them. They might have been in the dark, but it was because he left them there.
This wasn't a planned insurrection because she's a moron. But here's Liz Cheney.
You don't plan an insurrection with the help of Don Jr., Laura Ingraham, and Sean Hannity. You out of your fucking mind?
Talking about why she feels the need to subpoena. She's not a law enforcement officer.
Why she needs to subpoena Hunter Biden's laptop and why these pictures need to be seen. But I'm not going to look at Hunter Biden's text messages that are allegedly between him and his daughter from years ago. That's none of our business. Fuck off.
The opposing party, because she's a Democrat now, their communications. Listen to this filth.
We are here to address a very serious matter. Contempt of Congress by a former chief of staff to a former president of the United States.
Oh my God, filth. Hold on. This is disgusting. The language. I don't know. If you have children watching, leave the room. And as soon as they've left the room, let me know because I'm going to undo my pants because this is filth of the highest order.
We do not do this lightly. And indeed, we had hoped not to take this step at all. For weeks, as the chairman noted, we worked with Mr. Meadows' counsel to reach an agreement on cooperation. But shortly before his scheduled deposition, Mr. Meadows walked away from his commitment to appear and informed us he would no longer cooperate. We believe Mr. Meadows is improperly asserting executive and other privileges, but this vote on contempt today relates principally to Mr. Meadows' refusal to testify about text messages and other communications that he admits are not privileged. He has not.
Yeah, quit it. The filth. This is disgusting. Oh my God. This is like a live action porn version of South Park. Who allowed this on screen? These are in the halls of Congress. Let the insurrection people back in there to smear more shit on the walls. At least it will be a finer display of human endeavors than this. This is gross.
Claimed and does not have any privileged basis to refuse entirely to testify regarding these topics.
Okay, what she just said there is filth. It's filth. Liz Cheney is a sellout. And Liz Cheney is...
What? How the fuck is that? Honest to God. What? All right, look, I understand you're a Republican and you have to criticize what she's saying, but that's what you've come up with? It's filth? What are you watching? All right. Obviously, you and I have been watching Dan Bongino, who's looking for a TP for his bunghole, Bongino, for a while now. And we've clearly recognized that there is some sort of disconnect between his eyeballs and his ear holes and what's left of the rotting tangerine that he uses for a fucking brain. And it just something's running interference. Because every time he sees something, he shows it to us and we're all like, yeah, we just saw that. And he'll say something else entirely happened. And I have to think that maybe, just maybe, his staff or his producer is fucking with him. That's the only logical explanation I can come up with. That when they play video of something happening that we see, they're showing him something else entirely. Right? I don't know. On
fraud and to the voters who voted for Liz Cheney, I'm begging you. It's not only important that Liz Cheney lose her seat. Liz Cheney must lose her seat by a massive margin to send a message to these tyrants, these people who want to abuse the power of Congress, to act like de facto law enforcement agents to target the...
Well, no, they have the right to convene this. They're not acting as de facto. She's not slapping a fucking badge on and hooking him up herself. The fuck is wrong with you? He agreed to testify and then he wouldn't. He stopped cooperating when they went, we'd like to see the illegal shit you did too. And he was like, I thought I could just show you stuff that was unrelated and minor. No, we need to see the illegal shit too. Well, no. Well, we gotta, because it's our democracy. You can't participate in an attack on the peaceful transfer of power in the United States of America and not expect some kind of comeuppance, fucko. Yeah, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. All right. Liz, dress up in your cop uniform and go hook him up. He'll think it's a singing telegram.
Opposition party, the Republicans, that you will lose. You have been rejected. The voters don't like you. Liz Cheney must lose by double digits. Oh,
you mean like you lost your radio show due to ratings being below single digits? I see. So she should lose like you lost your radio show and then pretend that it was because of a vaccine mandate when you were already vaccinated because you've been on Fox News and you could get an exception if you wanted one, even from both, but you didn't. I see.
This is a sellout and a fraud. She should be immediately removed from the Republican caucus, stripped of her committees, and never be allowed by a Republican again to use and target.
Because she wants to look at text messages in a lawfully convened committee dealing with the worst attack on our Capitol in its nation's history, and all she wants this fucko to do is come down and testify to what happened? Why didn't he just come down and either, if he's got to plead the fifth, fucking do it? But again, if he wasn't doing anything wrong and he was acting as a patriot, none of this was coordinated, who gives a rat's ass? Why don't you just fucking come down and go and make a speech? Again, this is like, well, why would Steve Bannon or Alex Jones or any of these people, especially the ones that yap for a fucking living, not come down there and give as good as they, I mean, honestly, they could be held in contempt for not answering questions, but they would be hailed as heroes for telling the committee to go fuck itself.
Our label. She can run as whatever she wants, but no Republican should ever vote for this fraud again. Make no mistake what she's doing. The January 6th committee has one purpose and one purpose only.
To look into the worst attack on our Capitol since the Civil War.
Act as an extra constitutional body, a supra-constitutional body beyond the powers of the Constitution, to target Republicans and to target their communications to scare them, as I warned you a year ago before the 22 election. I warned you about this, to not dare text each other or communicate, because we will get you.
Well, why would they be afraid to text or communicate to each other if they're not involved in a violent insurrection against the fucking country? Who cares? And this isn't extra constitutional. They have the powers within the Congress. All the people that they're calling up either served in government or currently serve in government. And we as the people get to call people who work at our government in front of committees like this and ask them about shit like this, especially when there was an attack on the Capitol that we all pay for with our tax dollars, support with our patriotism and our tax dollars, and require as needed for the function of our own goddamn government. What the fuck?
Communications. We will get your texts and we will read them in front of the American public, which is what she did to Hannity.
Who cares? Who cares? Why wouldn't you be proud of the texts you sent on that day, especially ones where the Capitol riot was going on and you had a beeline to the president and you were like, tell him to come out there and say fucking something. These people think it's him.
Hannity, excuse me, not Levin. Hannity, Kilmeade, and Laura Ingraham, who had texted Mark Meadows on the 6th.
Thank you, Angela.
Saying, hey, what's going on? You got to shut this down.
Right. Hey, you said you weren't going to say what the text said.
The odd part about that is Liz Cheney doesn't realize that she's trying to make the point, because she's a full-blown liberal Democrat right now, this scammer. She's a...
Yeah, totally. It's this whole thing. She arranged to be raised by Dick Cheney so that she could end run her way around conservatives.
Full-blown liberal Democrat using communist tactics. Communist
tactics. Oh, like a group reading? Is that communism now?
It's to target her political opposition. What Liz Cheney doesn't realize is she's making the opposite case than she thinks she's making. Didn't you file Guy?
Well, maybe she's a double agent. Maybe she's actually helping you by doing this thing. And what?
Remember the planned insurrection, Joe? Remember that? It was a planned insurrection. I thought that was the narrative. That was the narrative. I'm not crazy, right?
No, you're cool.
This was a planned insurrection, meaning there was planning, right? That's what that means.
Yep.
If it was a Moneyball theory, right? If it was a planned insurrection, then where are the plans? We'd like to see that, which is odd, because some of the players Liz Cheney's trying to embarrass by reading their text to Mark Meadows seem to be indicating by their text they had no idea what was going on January 6th either.
Yeah, no, the point she's making with these folks is especially when it comes to Sean Hannity and the votes, is that they normally have a line to the president and can tell him to call something like this off. And he was ignoring that fact and letting it happen. So even these people that he apparently takes a lot of, stock in what their advice, he was ignoring them, especially when they told him to do something about this because he actually thought it was going to work.
Meadows, which is kind of weird for a planned insurrection, isn't it?
Amen.
Planning.
By the way, I don't know who the fuck is talking off screen in this. This is one of his producers, probably the same guy who shows, opposite of what he's showing us videos.
Planning. When you plan something, like when you plan a surprise party, it's not really a surprise other than the person who's the subject of the party, right, Joe? Just checking.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah.
So if Joe is throwing me...
Yeah, but people you haven't invited to the party, for example, might call you on that person's birthday and say, hey, do you have any plans for the party? And you might not tell them because you think they might tell the person that you're surprising. So you keep them out of the loop because, I don't know, this person who, isn't invited to the actual party is expected to, I guess might have a gift for that person later, but you're going to celebrate later in the week. And this person has a television show where they might spill the fucking beans.
Surprise party for my 47th birthday a few weeks ago. Joe's not surprised by the party too. Just me. I'm just checking. Because Liz...
Yeah, but everybody you didn't invite who knows your problem, your cupcake eating problem, they don't know about it. So it was a surprise to them, but it wasn't a surprise to everybody who coordinated it.
Ladies seemed surprised that Hannity, Ingram, and Kilmeade were surprised, including Don Jr., too. I thought it was a planned insurrection, showing you what an idiot Liz Cheney is.
Who the fuck ever said that Sean Hannity was part of the planning of this stuff? Mark Meadows was getting messages from those folks, returned some of them, and also said, check your signal. But there were other people from the House that were contacting them that wanted him to do something, and others who weren't. Was he in contact with other folks that was the check your signal to let them know that Mike Pence has left the building so he can go in now and say, call it off because they're never going to get to him. He's not going to die today. Rats. But we don't know that because we haven't seen his signal because they don't have a subpoena for that stuff. Who the fuck thinks you would loop Kilmeade into any kind of a secret plan? Brian Kilmeade? Carter Page thinks he's an idiot.
An idiot. An idiot. You may be asking yourself common sense questions right now, like where does Congress get the authority? This tyrant, Liz Cheney, get the authority to steal people's personal communications.
Well, no, they're not personal communications. They're communications made on Mark Meadows' actual taxpayer-provided communication device where he is talking back and forth with other public servants. And once he spreads out to other things, when he's having unrecorded conversations with other folks, which is illegal, then you can get a subpoena for that because he's not supposed to have those. All the blather about Hillary Clinton's server you assholes went through for years. Which is exactly what this is, by the way. This is the inversion of their whole Hillary Clinton server nonsense.
Which are likely privileged. Mark Meadows was the chief of staff to...
Oh, you mean like Hillary's wedding plans? The plans for her to go to a wedding?
Where does she get the authority to do this? Liz Cheney's not a law enforcement officer. She's not even bright. She's a moron. Where does she get the authority?
Well, you're a moron, and you were a law enforcement authority at one point, weren't you?
Do this. Well, Congress does have subpoena authority, but they only have subpoena authority for things that have some legislative intent. So in other words, if they were going to pass some kind of banking legislation, Congress, and they needed people from the banks to come up and testify about something they wanted to legislate, according to some Supreme Court rulings in the past, they can subpoena them to come up, those bank executives. Everybody understand?
Yeah.
This is very important.
Yeah.
It needs to have a legislative intent. These are not law enforcement subpoenas.
So what? They still have the right to subpoena you. They can hold. There's law in place to hold people in contempt if they don't show up for that subpoena. What the fuck is he talking about? Secondly, banking laws, he believes that we can seize people and their private communications, I guess, to deal with that shit. But if you're a public servant working in the White House, we don't have that right?
Liz Cheney's not a law enforcement officer. She's not even a smart person.
You keep saying this, and no one knows what the fuck you are talking about.
So if they're investigating this as a, quote, planned insurrection, yet everybody involved in the planned insurrection doesn't seem to have planned for the insurrection and seems to have been surprised by the insurrection.
Well, no, there were the House ones, the ones that they have not named who she, like the person who sent the check your signal. I mean, obviously, one of the lawmakers said the president needs to stop this ASAP. But one of them just said, check your signal, different person. The check your signal person may have told, where is it? It's going to be in like, I'm going to find it. There you go. Fix this now. One of them, this is on the 5th. Some of these were beforehand. On 6, Mike, as president of the Senate, should call out all electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional, has no electoral votes at all. Let me see if this is some of the other ones, if they just have these images in here. Womp womp. They're all freaking out. There's Liz Cheney. Oh, here we go. So these are the ones. Yeah, here you go. So that here, they're so stupid. Here's the thing. It's really bad up here on the Hill. Fix this now. President needs to. They were getting messages and he wasn't responding. Wasn't doing anything. Took him hours. There was no National Guard. They delayed the National Guard while they were getting these messages from people who are sending them in. This is January 2nd. Need to end this call. That's this from the call about just find me 17,000 votes. Meadows is a member of Congress. He thinks the legislatures have the power, but the VP has power too. This is Meadows sending this to a member of Congress. It doesn't say who, but what he means is to overturn this whole thing. I heard Jeff Clark is getting put in on Monday. That's amazing. It will make a lot of patriots happy. I'm personally so proud that you're at the tip of the spear, and I can call you a friend, whoever that is. Please check your Signal. That's the secret messaging app. Here's an aggressive strategy. Why can't the states of Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and other Republican-controlled state houses declare this is BS, where conflicts and elections not called that night, and just send their own electors to vote and have it go to the SCOTUS. This is November 4th. So there's a bunch of these in here. This is the entire report they put out. One text Mr. Meadows received said, quote, "We are under siege at the Capitol." Another one said they breached the Capitol. And the third, Mark, protesters are literally storming the Capitol, breaking windows on doors, rushing in. Is Trump going to say something? Fourth, there's an armed standoff at the House chamber door. And another from someone inside the Capitol, "We are helpless. Do something for us. We're under siege." There you go. He's denied the select committee the opportunity to question about these circumstances. Yesterday was a terrible day. We tried everything we could in our objection to the 6 states. I'm sorry, nothing worked. The president needs to stop this ASAP. January, and this is, when is that? Yeah, this is the day before. So that would be this nothing worked. So you're going to need to have people attack, I suppose. All right. Stupid people, stupid Liz Cheney, stupid. And nobody knew the plan. So we're going to show that Mark Meadows was ignoring all the people who were under attack.
And they're investigating a planned insurrection as a what? Legislative affair? No, they've got to. No, they have to look. I mean, what the fuck do you think the 9/11 committee was about? Legislation? They're modifying the security protocols and for the record in the House, which will affect legislation and funding going forward. It's super easy. Investigating it as a law enforcement affair, an act of treason, which is weird because Congress doesn't have that authority at all.
Yeah, they do. What do you mean they don't have the authority to go after people for treason? Are you out of your fucking mind? Of course they do. Holy shit, that dude's dumb. All right, I know I'm late, but I need to do some of this, and it's Flashpoint. Ugh. We've been missing some of these Flashpoint douches for a while. Look at there they are. It's Gene the Jesus Machine, Lanny Walnuts, Hank Cooney Coon, and Mario Scario live from the middle of the street in San Francisco. This video is called Flashpoint. It's Unravelling. Mike Lindell, Lanny Walnuts, Hank Cooney Coon, Mario Scario, 12/14/21. Very exciting. Here we go.
If we all come together in the body of Christ, isn't it?
If I was Bongino, I would call this filth.
It is, but I also think of it not just in this context of unity. I think of it in the context of separation.
Unity! All right.
That God is doing to really begin to identify who are those that are really, really on the Lord's side and what he feels about what is happening in our nation and what we should be doing as a voice collectively in the nation. And so I look at it from the standpoint that God, like in the days of Gideon's army, you know, he's bringing it down to really those who are going to...
Hank. Wrap it up.
Two specific things, and
oh, hi. Thanks. Hi. Is that one of those for me?
Would you like caramel macchiato or a peppermint mocha?
I don't know. Which one do you have dibs on?
I just bought both.
Peppermint. Merry Christmas. Thanks, my love. I'll be along in a minute. I'm dealing with some right-wing preachers.
No, you're fine. So I brought you coffee?
Huh?
I brought you coffee.
Yeah, thank you. My girl stopped for coffee. There you go.
You know that there was 300 that were chosen by the Lord out of 32.
Yes, and they came forward and they went, "This is Sparta." I remember
soldiers, that. And it wasn't because they were just so caught up in their own need for refreshing or their own personal need. When they went down to the water, the Bible says they took of their hand and they brought the water up to their mouth. Yes, to be refreshed, to be personally ministered to, so to speak.
Yes, to brush their teeth. Yes, to floss. Yes, to practice good dental hygiene.
They kept their eye on an enemy that was trying to destroy them and their nation. And out of that,
and the Lord said, "Let them drinketh upon the waters, and sippeth of their coffee, but never take their eye off their enemy."
God brought a unity, but it was the very...
Hank, fucking, you're rambling again. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Thing that defeated the enemy and actually brought deliverance to a nation, and I feel like that's exactly what...
Oh, that's why our ass hurts. He brought deliverance to a nation.
God is doing. And I want to say this last thing. You know, you showed something with Lance regarding some of those tweets and so forth. But here's the real deal. God prophesied 2 weeks ago that we are coming into the season of the former and reformers. And some of these politicians and those that really are trying to destroy America are going to be known as the former because new faces are coming on the scene.
The former as opposed to the latter? What?
God's separation, and they're going to be the reformers of this generation and the future.
That's right. In fact, I want to play this.
What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean that's right? What? Bring in Mike Lindell. I'm so fucking confused.
This representative from Georgia, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at what she had to say.
We've heard a lot about text messages. I'd like the Democrats to produce their text messages, Mr. Speaker, denouncing Antifa BLM riots that raged across American cities for a year. I would love to read those.
Well, who says that there are any? Aren't you saying that they were actually supportive of them? So,
But instead, we saw Democrats encourage, incite, and continue to call these riots peaceful. And then when they got
no, nobody called the riots peaceful. The protests were largely peaceful, and that's the thing that we were talking about and that needed to go forward and stuff. The riots and the looting were separate. You guys were overlapping them to denigrate the actual peaceful protests by labeling all protests as riots and looting, so that you could avoid talking about the subject that was the point of the protest in the first place. I'm sorry to interrupt. You were saying something about a sex guru and your husband
put in jail. They bailed them out so they could go out and riot some more. I rise in opposition to this resolution to hold Mark Meadows in contempt of Congress because it's being held by nothing but a kangaroo court. Congress is...
I'd like to, if I may, if I'd be allowed, we hear a lot about kangaroo courts. People shit on them all the time. But quite frankly, ma'am, a kangaroo court, you can't miss out on it. It's actually one of the most fair courts you could ever experience. The kangaroo courts where many of us study long and hard, they keep their, the law in their pouch, as we like to say. You don't want a wallaby. No. And don't get me like a Tasmanian devil court. Forget about it. They just roll in. The judge just rolls in going blah, 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 blah. And then scares the shit out of everyone. Come on. Stop shitting on kangaroo courts.
Is to make laws, not enforce them. That's the role of the executive and the judicial branch of this government. But somehow the communists here in charge have forgotten, or no, not forgotten, or purposely abusing the Constitution and what this body of Congress is supposed to do. You see, when we go to this level, to the point where we're forgetting and abusing what our power is, then the American people...
Well, no, you're voting on it because your power not only exists, but also it requires this vote. If this power doesn't exist, then they wouldn't even be able to call for a vote. There wouldn't even be a historically obvious way of doing this. If they didn't have the power to do this, they'd have to draft. You would have voted months ago on a law allowing for this. This shit's been around forever. Why is this weird? What?
Will trust us no more. And that is exactly what this committee is doing.
I agree 100% there, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, good. Maybe you can explain it to us, Gene the Jesus Machine. What the fuck was she talking about? How can you overuse a power you don't have that you're actually going through the process of slow rolling by taking a vote on a power that you actually have?
Lance, what she said, she just echoed the sentiment of the American people in total. Just
did she?
There.
Yeah. Why didn't you open up with that? That would have been a shot of espresso for me to have Marjorie Taylor Greene, because what she said in that segment.
Oh no, Lanny Walnuts he's chubbing.
That gets, you know what I got? Look what I got, Gene. I've got a hippopotamus right here. You know why? Because all those guys are a bunch of hippocritters. That's what they are. A bunch.
Oh, this is a show for adults. By the way, if you're ever wondering how Lanny gets the kids in the van, now you know.
Hippocritters up there on the hill. And I think that the American people, 60%, 65% of them.
Grown man.
That are surveyed right now, they're looking at the gas tank, and they're looking at the delay in the Christmas packages, and they're looking at the
Are they? They're looking at the gas tank. You mean gas prices, I suppose, which are going down, but whatever. And the delay of the Christmas packages, which aren't being delayed. You mean the empty store shelves that aren't empty?
Down that's happening in violent crime and mobs that are breaking into stores. The American people aren't looking at these.
I mean, I wasn't even able to take part in any of this shit. Hold on. Where do they bring in? We've heard their nonsense before. Where do they bring in Mike Lindell in this stuff? Oh, there he is. Is that him? Nope, that's Hank Cooney-Coon. Oh, there he is. Let's skip ahead because I'm already running late anyways, but I want him to bring in because it's the same shit. They say the same
thing
shit.
is going to happen for the United States of America. This is going to backfire on them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Oh, that was an edit. Fuck, this is a whole second.
Friend Mike Lindell, MyPillow.com. Welcome back to the show, Mike. Tell us what's been going on with the Supreme Court. Any news?
Tell them the news, Mike, on the Supreme Court. I mean, I've been waiting. We're all waiting with bated breath. Tell us what's up. I'm so excited. This has got to be good news. They're definitely hearing it. Let's go.
There.
Well, let me say first here before I forget. I just watched.
How would you forget? You're reading from notes.
The first part of your show where Tucker was saying on Fox, remember on Fox, he's on Fox, why haven't they been charged? And then he said the public deserves to know what happened that day. The Fox News and all the conservative media has just completely, they're our biggest threat because they've suppressed everything. They've been.
Yes. Hail Jesus, there we go. Oh, down, everybody, gospel's coming on. There we go. This is the gospel of the Mike Lindell Show. Come on now, everybody, jump and shout. Everybody be happy when Republicans fight Republicans. Attack the rhinos. Foxes got to go down. Oh yeah. Hey, we're preaching at the tree choir, screaming at the choir. All right.
They canceled our voices. Oh, the Supreme Court case, everybody.
Oh shit! They cut him out. Look at that. They edited him down.
They've canceled our voices. Oh,
look at that. They were like, he rambled on about Fox too long, and they were like, they cut a huge chunk of it out. He's still smiling about it.
Court case, everybody. The attorney generals have asked they asked for some revisions.
Oh, okay. They've asked for some revisions. I see. Tell them what they're going to do.
The revisions are going to be completed by tomorrow morning. But, Jane, we've got to...
Oh, tomorrow morning. It's like Christmas. But, like, if Christmas never happened.
Thing going. So the Supreme Court case, I've been, like I said, I've been with attorney generals the last week and a half, but there's more great news coming.
God.
Truth is the ultimate defense in a defamation case. Remember.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is. Truth is absolute.
The prayers, everybody, will be when My Pillow brings this to that judge, that the judge says, you know what, you have destroyed all.
Wait a minute. How is My Pillow gonna bring this to a judge? What? How it so happen? How much both? What I understand if my Whoopi gonna bring it. How is My Pillow gonna bring it? I thought you gonna bring it.
Remember, the prayers, everybody, will be when My Pillow brings this to that judge, that the judge says, you know what,
why would a pillow bring a thing to a judge? I don't know what happening.
Destroyed all this evidence, therefore these cases go bye-bye, and if they go bye-bye...
They go bye-bye, go bye-bye. Everything don't know go bye-bye. Bye-bye, Pillow. Bye-bye, Judge 2.
Then Fox and Newsmax will have no more excuses to not report the truth in our country.
No, that's right. And also, Flashpoint not going to have any excuses to edit Mike Lindell down in little bite-sized pieces so make it look like he makes sense.
On behalf of the American people, for what you've done. You've taken this battle personally, and you've stood up for a lot of...
Yeah, but in all fairness, he take everything personally. Everything. He takes crack personally.
That didn't know what to do next. So, speaking of what to do next, what can we do about...
he can do a couple of things next.
This case that's going, how can we support what's happening?
Yeah, how do you go?
There are a couple different ways, everybody. If you go to frankspeech.com, I want you...
Oh, I've been there. We go to Frank's Speech all the time. My dad is on that website every day.
Down, you can click on Supreme Court. You can call the Supreme Court complaint. You can call your Attorney General and reach out to him. I'd like all of them on board. Really encourage everyone in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Go to frankspeech.com. Go down to the little icon that shows Wisconsin. Click on that, and you have all your state senators.
I'm sorry. I'm not allowed. Every time we try to put your website in, the child blocker shuts it off because apparently it suggests that I should use some blood clotting goo on my dingles.
You can reach out to, and we're in the greatest revival in history, and for Jesus. And
I thought this was something else.
This is where we're at, and it is. I have so much enthusiasm because it's like. I can kind of see out there, we wouldn't have all these pieces and things. If we didn't have anything, we'd be going, okay, it's end times, we're all going to heaven. But I believe God's given us.
Yeah, that which would be good news or bad news. I'm confused. You seem excited because we're not going to heaven. Are you excited to go to hell? I said HE double hockey sticks. I'm sorry.
He's here, and we need to use this time to bring other people to Jesus, and that's what this event.
Wait a minute. So this is a lawsuit to force people to go to Jesus before Christmas.
It's going to be amazing.
I want to just say this for those of you that are watching and even listening.
He doesn't, Hanky Cooney Coon and Gene the Jesus Machine and Mario Scario and Lanny Walnuts all scare baby Hal. He can't be on the air.
What Mike is doing. Mike, I applaud you. God applauds you. You're on the Lord's side.
Why would God applaud? How does one hear the applause of God? Is it in the beating of the wings of the birds?
And God always will separate light from darkness. He will always bring a
yes, by rotating the planet in some cases.
And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the level of darkness, but we're also, with the awakening and with the renewal that he mentioned, is we are in the middle of the great light, and that great light overcomes the darkness. And I want you to remember.
I see. So just in case you guys are keeping track, the great light overcomes the darkness. Even though the darkness comes back, it's all separated, though. It's all separated.
Something before I pray, and that is this: 2022.
It's something I do before I pray. Count my money.
Will be very uniquely defined by God. It's the year the Lord is declaring that the King remembers. Don't think God didn't see, watch, and know what they did, and he's not done yet. And the other thing that we have to remember.
Oh, shit, they're editing Hank Cooney Coon as well.
Is Jesus said, how do you clean a house out unless you first bind the strong man, then you are able to spoil his
kinky
or to stop his agenda. I stretch my hands towards Michael.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. They're cutting it in the middle of a prayer?
And those, Lord, that he is working together for the sake not only of thy kingdom, but, Father, of this nation. And we pray, according to Psalm 37, that every evildoer will not only be exposed, but as your word declared.
By the way, I don't know if you've watched the whole program, but as soon as he said that, all their clothes flew off.
Will be cut off. God, you are laughing from heaven, as Psalm 37 says, because you know that those who have done these treasonous acts, those who have conspired to harm our nation, to steal, kill, and destroy,
are hysterical. You're laughing from heaven because you know these are the things of man and you're not troubled by them. God is basically like an audience member to these assholes. All he does is clap and laugh.
According to Psalm 37, they shall have their day. God, we are calling upon righteousness. We are declaring your justice.
Sorry. If you're calling upon righteousness, Mike, you might want to leave the room.
And I pray for the favor of God now. Holy Spirit, go forth, the Spirit of truth, and speak to the attorney generals. Speak to those that need to get on board.
Well, they need to get on board. Lord, we need more people to get on board. May they lay their hands upon the program and get with the program, Lord. Lord, we call forth you that they may find through thy divine wisdom to get thy shit together. Fucking get with the program.
And Lord God of hosts, give divine grace and favor as you even speak to the Supreme Court. We bind the devil. We bind any satanic interference.
All right. Enough. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but this is too kinky for my show.
That would try to delay or interrupt or frustrate this purpose. And God may...
No, never be afraid to bind someone to avoid frustration of your purpose, your special purpose.
Kingdom come and your will be established. And God, remember what they did. Remember the United States and God.
Hold on. How are you telling God to remember the United States? The fuck?
America.
Power. Oh, what a bunch of douchebags. I went long tonight. I was supposed to go in for rehearsal tonight, and I couldn't make it because of stuff we had to do here. I'm sad. But I'm glad to be with you guys, and I appreciate your support and your help. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show in any way that you can. Share it around. We're trying to increase our numbers, and I'm terrible at selling it. God, for God darn. But everything that we saw today, like the flailing about that's going on amongst these idiots, understand that Mike Lindell as it is, I mean, is a laughable figure, no question. But he's also he's a prick, just a terrible person. And you know people by the company they keep. All of those guys, all Gene the Jesus Machine and all the guys on Kenneth Copeland's network on Flashpoint are just fucking awful. And from someone who was baptized when he was 11 years old, they're liars and fake Christians. It's gross. It's grotesque. As Dan Bongino, who's looking for a teepee for his bunghole, would say, it's filth. Those guys are filth. Anyways, much love to you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is a Thursday, so it'll be later in the day. And then, of course, I'm traveling on Friday, so I won't be able to do a regular show. Wish me luck. Love you guys. See you. And I hope you're having a wonderful lead into the holidays. And take care of yourself and take care of yourself, everybody around you as well. Bye. Siri, punch out.